I'm Howard Grant, and welcome to The Rundown here on ZNest Television Network. It's so wonderful to have you with us. It is a beautiful Wednesday evening, hump day. I know you guys are getting prepared for the weekend and being able to do a great deal of things, but before we do that, we got to introduce you to some wonderful people that we have in the studio with us to talk about some things that have been happening around town. I know that you're interested in that. I know that you're interested more specifically in finding out a little bit about your kidneys. With a great deal of things that's happening around the country and a lot of persons being able to move towards dialysis, we need to find out more. This is Kidney Awareness Month. We got some great people in the house to be able to tell us about that. Roberts and Roberts. And so we're going to be able to dive into that a little right after the commercial break. But before that, we got to be able to let you know also that we got the Chamber of Commerce in the house with Chairman Williams, and he's going to be telling us all about the Bahamas Business Investment Forum. So we're going to be talking about that. And take this quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to dive deeper into it right after this.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Well, what about me?
What about you, what?
Well, I thirsty too, you know.
You want to see all the water out there?
Well, why you don't give me your water, and then you go try and drink that salt water?
You crazy, eh?
I ain't the one talking to a dog, you know.
Ain't nobody can drink salt water.
Then why you won't give it to me? All dogs need fresh, cool water and sufficient shelter from the sun all year round, especially on the beach and during the hot summer months.
Summers are very hot here in the Bahamas, so please make sure all pets have ample, cool, fresh water in proper containers and sufficient shelter from the sun, even on the beach. And make sure all dog houses and kennels have proper ventilation. Let's make it Bahamian to be humane.
This message has been brought to you by the Bahamas Humane Society and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
And we are back. This is The Rundown. I'm Howard Grant. Now, March is designated as Kidney Awareness Month in the Bahamas, led by the Bahamas Kidney Association, the BKA, to promote the prevention, education, and support of those with kidney disease. Joining us tonight is Bahamas Kidney Association President Tamika Roberts and neopathologist and the Association's Executive Medical Director, Dr. Lavad Roberts. Welcome to The Rundown.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me what your occupation is.
Nephrologist.
Nephrologist. Thank you. And it's so wonderful to be able to have you guys tonight. Introduce yourself, let persons know what you do, let them know about your specific area and expertise of what you do.
Okay, so Lavad Roberts, I'm a kidney specialist, as called a nephrologist, also hypertension specialist, internal medicine specialist. I am the Executive Medical Director of the Bahamas Kidney Association.
How long have you been doing this?
So 10 plus years now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You went to school and you say, I got to deal with kidneys.
I actually found that out as I was working in PMH. I said,
Really?
yeah, I think kidneys is the path for me. It's actually
Really?
meeting the patients. You know, the patients are what sold it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, Ms. Roberts, tell me about what you do. Now, I didn't get in their business. I just want to be decent. I didn't ask them all the questions. No, it's all the answers you need to know. Ms. Roberts, introduce yourself. Let them know, right?
Yes, I am the president of the Bahamas Kidney Association, and we have been a nonprofit for about 5 years. And how I got involved in it actually is my family was affected by kidney disease, and I was able to donate to my brother in 2018. And so from there, we were able to found the association in 2021.
Tell me a little bit more about this. Donate to my brother.
Yeah, well, my brother was diagnosed with kidney disease, and in 2018, you know, after my family went through the process, he was on dialysis for less than a year, and my family, of course, we knew that we didn't want this kind of lifestyle for him. We wanted him to have a better quality of life. And so in 2018, June of 2018, June 27th to be exact, 2018, we went through the process of transplantation, and I donated my kidney to him.
Wow. You're a good sister.
I am.
He can't even row you no more.
He can't. He better not.
It's a wonderful thing to be able to do. I want to know a little bit more about this, and I want you guys to be able to jump right in. I'd like you to tell me about not just Kidney Awareness Month, but I'd like to be able to find out what is this sort of a kidney disease and how people grapple with that. How do you know? How do you identify that? And let persons know possibly the telltale signs as we get into it.
Yeah, so kidney disease is actually on the rise, okay? Each year, the prevalence and incidence of kidney disease, we're at about 850 million worldwide. So 1 in 8 persons in the Bahamas alone is affected with some form of kidney disease. Our present statistics, we have over 600 persons on dialysis. So, yes.
Now?
Presently.
In the Bahamas?
Correct.
In Nassau, or you mean?
Throughout the whole Bahamas.
And where are the dialysis centers? Is it concentrated in Nassau? They got to come here, or they have places elsewhere?
So we actually have 2 forms of dialysis. There's the dialysis we do with the blood, and there's the dialysis we do with the stomach. So most of our persons are on what we call the hemodialysis, the blood dialysis, and those centers are primarily based in Nassau, Freeport, and Abaco. Okay? Wow. There's peritoneal dialysis, where you can actually be doing dialysis remotely. You do that at home in the comfort of your own home. That is a less common form of dialysis in the Bahamas, but there are some persons who still do peritoneal dialysis in our country.
That is amazing. Well, tell me about this. I want to know a little bit more about these particular things. I know that this is Kidney Awareness Month, but I don't remember, for the time that I've been doing this, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember distinctly being able to identify Kidney Awareness Month. So when does this commence? How long has this been that you've been being able to identify this locally in our country?
Well, Kidney Awareness Month is something that happens globally. And like I said, before the association came on board in 2021, there was the Bahamas Kidney Foundation. That was established in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. They became inactive, and after my brother and I went through our process and we came back, someone heard about our story. It was on the media, and we had a lot of persons reaching out to us wanting to find out more about, you know, the whole process and just for encouragement. And when we looked around, we did not see that there was an association. We saw that there was a gap. And because of that gap, I initially had reached out to Dr. Ada Thompson, who was the first president, actually, of the foundation. And over a period of time, she just asked if I would be able to carry on the work, you know, fill in the gap for the Bahamians that needed the support and needed the help. And I said yes to the call. And so in 2021, I think we began actively raising awareness, actively being a part of the whole global
So this
awareness.
is where the gap exists in my head.
That is where the gap existed in your head. Yes, there was a gap.
Breast cancer, we
yes,
get this, we get that.
that's where the gap. That is where the gap.
And we see that on the rotation.
Correct.
Well, it's important that we have this conversation about Kidney Awareness Month.
Absolutely, and you will see this on the rotation. So definitely next year March, you'll know that you'll have on your green for the entire March.
For the entire March.
For the entire March.
I think this is the luck of the Irish. Well, talk to me about this. Talk to me about those 600 cases, Doc. Those 600 cases, I'd like to know the ratio in those particular cases. How many kids, how many adults, and how we kind of dealing with this? Because it sounds expensive.
So kidney disease is no respecter of persons, okay? Although we have more females being diagnosed, it's actually a kind of misnomer that females just seek medical attention more than males, okay? So we have more females being diagnosed. But the problem is...
That could just be the statistics of or the demographics. We have more females.
Well, believe it or not, it's the fact that males present later. You know,
really?
We kind of wait, we hide things, we kind of take care of it at home. And when the symptoms are really apparent, that's when we seek medical care. Whereas the females, they get diagnosed early, so the intervention is early. And that's the key with kidney disease, early intervention and prevention, okay? The first 3 to 4 stages of kidney disease, there's typically no symptoms. When the symptoms develop, that's when your kidney function is 20% or less, okay? That's when you start to see the swelling in the legs, the difficulty breathing, the itching, the nausea, the loss of appetite, the weight loss. That's the end stages and symptoms of kidney disease.
Wow. I had no idea about these particular things. So you said that you could travel through 3 stages, and at the times you actually get through these 3 stages, it's 5 or it's 4 stages?
Total of 5 stages.
5 stages.
Correct.
So the first 3 you travel through, and you know, everything, you're still functioning as normal, but you're actually functioning at 20%.
So, yeah, so kidney disease can advance without you even knowing it. The key is getting checked, getting those annual blood and urine testing, because that's the early symptoms, or early signs of kidney disease. When that creatinine in your blood rises, that's because your kidney is having trouble clearing out the toxins.
Wow.
When you have protein or blood in the urine, there's some microscopic damage in the kidney that needs to be intervened earlier when it's reversible, because when that inflammation turns into scarring, there's nothing much we can do but start the dialysis machine in some persons.
Wow. That's really sad to hear, because what are the telltale signs? How do we know? Whether or not we have kids, whether or not we're adults, you know we're prone to sugary drinks, you know we're prone to specific beverages, you know we're prone to a starchy diet here locally. What are some of the telltale signs to know that, okay, you're on this particular path, you got to go check yourself out?
So you hit kind of the nail on the head. The 2 most common reasons for kidney failure is diabetes and hypertension. It's not only just in our country, but this is worldwide. Both are on the rise. When you have uncontrolled diabetes and hypertension, it's a snowball effect, and that kidney failure, it becomes exponential, okay? Early checks, if finding out if you're diabetic or hypertensive and getting out of control, that's how you prevent the development or progression of kidney disease. Those same symptoms that present is that swelling of the feet, okay? Or you notice there's a funny metallic taste in your mouth. Simple as nausea.
It's like copper.
Exactly, okay? And people, the food they used to like, they don't even like it anymore because it tastes off to them, okay? And these are the early signs. That's the toxins changing the actual architecture of your nerves and your taste buds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, tell me about this, Ms. Roberts. Tell me about what's going to be happening, the list of the activities that's going to be commencing for the Kidney Awareness Month.
So for Kidney Awareness Month, we started off with our church service. That was on Sunday. But on this weekend...
Yeah, this got to be in the Bahamas.
Yes, this weekend...
We're going to church first.
Yeah, we're going to church first. We're going to church first. That's right. So this weekend, we have a fun run walk, and that is going to take place at Goodman's Bay, starting at 6:30. From Goodman's Bay to, we have 2 routes, Goodman's Bay to Sandals, and then from Goodman's Bay to Sandy Port and back. And we're asking the public to come on down and support this race. We're asking you also to wear green. It is a worthy cause. It is a very worthy cause. With our funds, we assist patients with 4 medications for free, persons that are enrolled in our medication assistance program. We also have monthly support group sessions for kidney patients and support members to assist them along this journey. So it is a worthy cause. Recently, we started to focus on our dialysis project, and this is to assist us in raising funds to donate dialysis machines to the Public Hospital Authority. And so we are doing a lot of things, and this is one of our major fundraising events. And then on the 14th of March, it's an open public session sponsored by BEAR, where Dr. Roberts will lead out into an open public session about kidney health and living donation.
Sponsored by?
Sponsored by BEAR.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we're inviting the public to join us, and that will be at 4 o'clock at the University of the Bahamas in the Harry C. Moore building, the auditorium. there. And so we're asking persons to come on down. That's on March 14th at 4 p.m. And
So you
then
got the activities starting. The church service is going to be starting Sunday.
the church service is done.
Oh, you didn't been to church?
We didn't been to church. March,
You have a good time now.
We didn't, yeah.
God. Let's get Jesus. Let's go.
We have to give God thanks. Got to give him thanks.
Praise God,
That's right.
So now, this Saturday coming, you're going to be at Goodman Bay.
Goodman's Bay,
Goodman
6:30.
Bay, at 6:30 in the morning.
6:30 in the
How do
morning.
people register?
You can register online at fourseasonsmanagement.com. You can also stop into our office. We do have an office on Mount Royal Avenue, and we will be there between 10 and 2. So we're encouraging people to sign up for fourseasonsracemanagement.com, or you can stop in at our office.
Doc, I'd like to be able to ask you a question, Dr. Roberts. Tell me about some of the economic and emotional mental tolls that a person actually endures during this particular time with the kidney disease as they continue to grapple with it. Some of the issues that they actually have in terms of walking into that.
Yeah, so it's life-changing, right? You think about your kidneys on a daily basis, clearing your blood 24/7, right? At a certain point, it's no longer to do that. Now you have to use a dialysis machine to clean the blood for you. We can't use a dialysis machine 24/7, so 3 days a week now you have to go to a dialysis unit and get your blood cleaned for about 4 hours at a time. So a lot of people, their lives are uprooted, but not just for that individual going through dialysis, but the loved ones around them. So caregivers embark on this same journey with them. So the association not only looks at patients, but also the caregivers around them, because there's a lot to take on when someone takes on kidney disease. Now, you were able to eat what you want to eat, do the things that you want to do, work how you want to work, but now your life revolves around a machine 3 days out of the week. So a lot of people, they retreat, especially if you don't have the support around you. Depression is high, okay? It's a high mental toll. So this is why the association tries to be there for them, because we know those who are going through it understand it, okay? And our president, being a living donor, she went through the walk herself. So it's those who are around in association, they are members, either caregivers or persons actually suffering from kidney disease as well.
It's an amazing thing.
Okay? And to talk about the economic aspect, it's costly, okay? There are some countries that don't even offer dialysis because they cannot afford it for their population, okay? If your kidneys are failing, if you don't have the funds to support it, we take you to palliative measures in those kind of countries. But in the Bahamas, we have the ability to actually provide.
So in those countries, it's just hospice?
Correct.
That's crazy.
They either pay for each dialysis session or they just prepare hospice.
Wow. It's unfortunate. I want everyone to be able to recognize the importance of doing these things. I think in our country for a very long time, we've grappled with these things. We call it one thing or another, but we haven't been able to really be able to deal with this. This is big money for some, but truly this is life-changing for a great deal of persons.
Yes.
And a lot of persons who are sitting on dialysis right now, probably watching us right now, are hoping and waiting maybe on a list somewhere for a very, very expensive transplant.
Correct.
Yeah. A lot of persons are telling me that they're looking at Turkey, they're looking at all these particular spaces about possibly being able to see that. Is that something that we do here locally also?
So when we look at kidney transplant, there's two types. We have the living donor, where someone, a relative or a close friend, or even someone gifting the kidney transplants one of their 2 kidneys to someone. And then there's the deceased donor, where if someone passes away, their organs are donated to somebody for a new life. The average wait list for a deceased donor is around 6 years. Okay? If you have someone willing to donate a kidney for you, you can get one as soon as 6 to 9 months. Now, even if you're not a match, there's new things that are rising where you can have a paired donor exchange. If I don't match for my brother or sister, I can donate to someone else who donates to my brother or sister. Okay, so there's various options. So we know the U.S. and Canada.
Crowdfunding.
Exactly. So we know the U.S. and Canada is well known for kidney transplants, but there's many places around the world the options are widening as time goes on. Okay, but dialysis is only a bridge, okay? Those with kidney disease don't see it as an end all, okay? Continue to have that hope, because if you get a transplant, you can get the life that you had before dialysis.
Well, I'd like both of you to kind of hit this last thing before we get out of here. What are some of the messages that you want to kind of drive home about kidney disease and kidney prevention? And then list some of those things that persons can be able to understand about symptoms and whatnot, just in case you're in this kind of a position and you may be functioning at 25%, you're not sure yet, right? So just talk to me about that.
Well, I'd like to end. I'll just go before Dr. Roberts.
Go ahead.
But I'd like to end with the public just calling them to definitely support our events. We have a lot of things going on. We also have free renal screening during this month that is being sponsored by Eden Well. You call our office, and if you have any concerns about whether your kidneys are working or not, you call our office and we'll give you a coupon so that you can get a free renal screening. Also,
Your office on Mount Royal?
On Mount Royal,
okay, good.
Yes. Also, I have to mention our inaugural event. This is the first time that the Bahamas Kidney Association is having a gala event, our Emerald Soiree, which is sponsored, our title sponsor is J.S. Johnson. That will be on March 28th. And this promises to be an evening full of elegance, a celebration, fun, and also just spotlighting and highlighting kidney disease and those that are in the community. And so we want to encourage persons to be a part of that. We have diamond sponsors, the Kidney Center and Eden Well, who are diamond sponsors during this event. And also we have ruby sponsors, MedNet, and also we have the Ministry of Health and Wellness, who have partnered with us, who are on board. And so this is going to be a fantastic evening.
How much for tickets? Well, don't tell me how much for the ticket. Let the people call you.
Yes. Our number is 436-1317. 436-1317. So we want persons, and also I have to put in this plug for kidney patients. Those that you're not a part of the association, on the 15th of March, we are having a cooking demo. And this cooking demo is partnered with Doctors Hospital along with Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. And in this session, we teach patients how to prepare renal meals. And that is so important, especially for those on dialysis. And so we want persons to come on down, be a part of this session on March 15th. If you are a kidney patient or if you're a support family member and you want to support your loved one, please come on down. We will be sharing more about you in terms of renal-friendly meals.
436-1317.
436-1317.
Tickets to the gala?
Tickets for the gala, tickets for, and the cooking session is free.
The cooking session?
That's free.
So you're teaching people how to cook?
Yes, and that's free.
They can take their samples with them?
They could take their samples with them, yes.
That's a good sample,
Yes.
right? And talk to me about this, Doc. We were talking about this sort of an idea about the message that you want to drive home, but I'd like you to start off with these particular symptoms, that if you're operating, like you indicated, at the 20%, if you're operating, if you are possibly going through the first phase, second stage, so forth and so on, how would we know?
So I'll start by saying this. Ignorance is not bliss, okay? The most important point is prevention is key. I want everybody to get their annual checks, okay? Know what your kidney status is. Ask your doctor, how is my kidney functioning? What percentage? Is there any protein or blood in urine? That way you can know early intervention to prevent the progression of your kidney disease. I don't want you to develop those symptoms, because when you get that symptom of that nausea, that vomiting, that metallic taste, at that time, it's more so delaying the inevitable rather than the prevention, okay? See a kidney doctor when your kidney function is under 60%. If you have a history of kidney stones, any blood or protein in urine. There's medications, there's lifestyle changes that can reverse the kidney disease before you need 8 to 10 medications per day.
How do we know is this protein? Whereas I think blood is kind of obvious. We could see that. How do you know if it's protein in your urine?
So believe it or not, I'm actually referring to the microscope, things we can't even see. So the protein in the urine, sometimes it presents as foam or froth in the urine.
Okay, good.
But a blood test, a urine test, sorry, it can find a microscopic blood or protein that catches it before you yourself see the symptoms of the blood or the protein in the urine.
So anytime you see foam, if you're urinating, anytime you see foam, is it something to be able to be aware about? Because
get checked out. I would say before
anytime,
you assume.
no matter how old you is.
No matter what age. If you're 6 years old or 66 years old.
You're drinking sugar.
You shouldn't be drinking sugar. But a simple urinalysis could say, is this foam protein or not?
Yeah.
Do I need to intervene here? Because that could be the sign that, hey, something is going on. You can be diagnosed with diabetes at that time, okay? But you got to look for those signs and symptoms. Make sure you stop the development of end-stage renal disease.
This is interesting. I look forward to it, guys. You want to be able to be out this evening. Well, on the weekend, you want to be able to be out at Goodwins Bay. You can find out more information. Four Seasons Management, you can be able to get some information from them. They'll be able to assist you with that. Also, you can be able to hit them up for the gala, 436-1317. Ms. Roberts, Dr. Roberts, I want to thank you guys so very kindly. You want to leave anything else? You want to say anything else before you go?
Just want to thank all of our sponsors. We've had a lot of support to pull off.
What you're doing.
This is very important. This is very important. I want to thank all of our sponsors. They have really supported us to get this event off. Again, I want to thank J.S. Johnson, our title sponsor, the Kidney Center, and also Edenwell, our diamond sponsors, and also MedNet and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we get back, we're going to be taking a look at the economy. The view for the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce. Stay with us right here. This is Rundown. We'll be right back after this. I want to thank him.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lopinder.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And in any business that you're going to take, it's going to be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. This is the business I know it's going to be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself has put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Their mission is to be the voice of the business community. The Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and the Employees Confederation advocacy directly impacts the national policies and promotes good governance that drives growth and prosperity to our business environment. Tonight, the Chamber's chairman, Don Williams, is here with us and set to talk all about things economic. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you so much for appearing with us here on The Rundown.
Thank you for having me.
That's wonderful, man. You know, I got all kind of questions like this. Tell me about the Bahamas Business and Investment Forum. Tell me about that. I think you guys did that last week.
Last week, Friday, the Bahamas Business and Investment Forum hosted in West Palm Beach. Wonderfully attended. I'd like to say that...
In West Palm?
In West Palm. The keynote was given by the Prime Minister.
Money is. I just want to be very clear. Oh, West Palm, okay.
You know, the Bahamas is all about attracting the necessary investment that it takes to keep our economy going. I believe the Prime Minister just today was able to comment on the $1 billion revenue that the government has been collecting over the past year. And we'd like to see that trickle down to a lot of the businesses, boost the economy, decrease the cost of doing business, as well as the cost of living. But back to the Bahamas Business and Investment Forum, I have to say, well attended. The consulate out of Washington, in collaboration with the Bahamian consulate in Miami, did a wonderful job. It really showcased the beauty of the Bahamas, investment that is available. Freeport was on stage for how easy it is to invest in Freeport, what opportunities there are, as well as the people, the service that we provide. So whether it is in financial services, whether it's in the yachting industry, whether it's in real estate, all of that was showcased there. Even AI.
In West Palm, they did all this in there?
In West Palm.
So what was the objective? What was the, outside of being able to sit in the space to indicate that the Bahamas is essentially open for business and there's productivity, there's activity, there's some things going on. What is the overarching objective that you wanted to kind of wean to yield from this sort of an exposure in an external environment?
It's really and truly, it's just to make sure that investors understand that the Bahamas is a place to play, to invest, to do business, to create new opportunities, start new industries. And like I said, that was definitely on stage.
Is there a time that we can be able to look at, given the fact that we are in a election year, there are some things happening. Our investments, well, I guess if you're a savvy investor, you know these particular things, but are the investors really being able to look from an external standpoint at these sort of bullet points to make a determination as to whether or not this is a good time to invest? Or are you encouraging them, hey, listen, any time is always a good time to invest in the Bahamas?
Well, the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce will always say that this is a great time to invest in the Bahamas. It's always a great time to invest in the Bahamas, no matter what season you're in. The hotel industry may be slow in September, but we will still tell you invest in the Bahamas.
We'll take your money.
There is no other place
we'll take
to invest in the Bahamas. And we as Bahamians, we invest in ourselves as well. So we're encouraged by it. Now, do we have concerns? As always, the Chamber has concerns. We have concerns about the cost of living. We have the concerns of ease of doing business, and that's one of the primary focus of the Chamber during my chairmanship.
Tell me about the ease of doing business. Under former administration, we've been identified as 124 in the world, and there was some contraction under that administration that happened with the expectation to find us in a better position. Tell me where we stand now, and under your tenure, and as you continue to be able to move, are we making incremental steps from a global standpoint to ensure that we're in a better space?
We are making global steps. Now, the concern is that it's still difficult to seek financing. It is extremely difficult to open up a simple bank account.
Now, this is domestically?
This is domestically. When compared to some of our neighboring countries.
Yeah, because some people tell me I could apply right now from wherever I am for LLC, for a bank account, for this, for that, in Florida.
Days.
And this never happened before.
Now, at the Chamber, we're trying to mitigate some of that. Now, we understand that, the government has certain difficulties. We've stepped up where we can, and businesses have stepped up. No longer are you hearing the complaints as much. There's a need to complain from time to time. So, for example, Inland Revenue, it's the season for business license renewal.
Yeah, top of the year.
Depending on who you talk to, you may have gotten your business license renewed within 72 hours.
That's crazy what you say.
Now.
It's the truth, though.
It is the truth. So the one thing that we're going to do at the Chamber is we're going to give credit when credit is due, and at the same token, we're going to apply pressure. In this case, we had to apply pressure just recently. So there was a business that some 30 days, they applied, but the process was taking long. And those are the type of things we're trying to mitigate. We're trying to find that equilibrium where we can say, look, the process needs to be corrected. How can we do that from the private sector to now be applied to the business sector? And in that regard, what we did as a Chamber in January, because we want to be the change that we want to see. So in January, just to mitigate some of that risk, we hosted our Business Readiness Expo, first week in January, where we invited all of the necessary stakeholders. So you had Inland Revenue, NIB, TDC, Customs. BICO was there to assist you with understanding regulations. We had one of our patron sponsors, Alive Business, that was there, and countless others, town planning. What that allowed is for no more conversation, no panel discussion, but any business owner, entrepreneur that came there with the right documentation, you were able to walk in and walk out with a business license or resolution to concerns that you may have had. Because now all of the entities are in one room, the dialogue can be had whenever there's conflict. If NIB says you need to go back to Inland Revenue, well, great. The tables are side by side.
This is one of the most excruciatingly painful processes of being able to get some level of solution when you go to a business entity, right? And so you go to NIB say, well, you didn't have this, you got to go back and do this. You go back to Inland Revenue say, you got to go back to NIB say, well, you got to send us an email, you got to do this. This is exhausting. If I didn't need this money, well, I need the money, right? So I can do it, right? But talk to me about that. Are you mitigating against those processes? And there has been this sort of position that a lot of us have taken over the years, especially with the introduction of the Commercial Enterprise Bill, now the Commercial Enterprise Act, would give a sense of expedience to those from an external standpoint, but yet we still had to kind of muddle through this process to get these particular things done. And then, like you said, depending on who you know, you might get some things expedited, depending on who you know or what you present, you may be able to get some things expedited. So there's no straight across the board expedience from a domestic standpoint. So tell me about that. Tell me about those particular processes, if it's working out on our behalf, or you being able to look at that and make some things happen.
It is working out on our behalf. I have to say that that our expo, we had absolutely no complaints. It was wonderfully accepted, not only by the stakeholders.
But you got everybody in the room.
We got everyone in the room. Now, at the same time, in having everyone in the room, we took that opportunity to sit down with those stakeholders and say, what do you have planned? You've now seen how we've been able to sit down and work out a plan in order to ease the tension, right? Create now better opportunities for businesses to transact business. You don't need to apply for a business license and spend weeks trying to get a matter resolved. You don't need to go down to NIB. And I'll speak to a conversation that we had with NIB while at the expo. NIB has various opportunities for you to actually interact with NIB without having to actually go down to NIB or even pick up the phone. So they have an ESS portal. I stand to be corrected in that. So you can log in as a business owner, and you can fill out the necessary forms that you need. You can actually pay online.
So, and they
have an
also
app
have this
as well.
Is this a part of the My Gateway thing also? I think they have.
And it's not a part of My Gateway. Okay. That is actually NIB's idea. Okay. They actually have a easy submit app as well.
Really?
So they're creating the opportunities through technology to assist us in streamlining it. Now, it is up to us, one, as businesses, to adopt it to change, and two, for the stakeholders to push the change that's being put out there in technology so that we can now understand, educate ourselves, and how to create that change.
Tell me about this. Small and medium businesses play a significant role in our society, right? Well, let's do this.
The driving force.
Small and medium businesses out of the United States of America, they have conditioned us to understand that the SMEs are the driving force of the economy, the driving force that create these particular things. Most recently, well, historically, our country has always focused on anchor projects, governmental concepts, big business, and creating an environment where persons are just laborers. With the shift that's happening, whether it's as a result of COVID-19, as a result of the pandemic, as a result of hurricanes, as a result of this, the economic decline from a global standpoint, a lot of persons are now turning to this sort of a concept, an idea of being able to get into small and medium business. Is the Chamber focused on entrepreneurialism? Is the Chamber focused on being able to help persons develop a very clear understanding of what it takes to be able to get into business, understanding your books, the accountability aspect, and all these particular things? Are you focused on those things?
It's always been a focus of the Chamber of Commerce. In terms, we liaise with our strategic partners for that very reason. So whether it's TDC, SPDC, the University of the Bahamas, to be able to educate individuals. We even have our own Learning Institute at the Chamber. We have a Young Professional Society at the Chamber. Yes, we do. Our focus...
I want to let you know, I've never heard about this.
You've never heard about this?
Young Professionals Society. Now, when you say young...
So I'm going to challenge you.
I got a couple gray hair. Young Professional Society. Tell me about it.
So the Young Professional Society is just as it says. It is a grouping of younger entrepreneurs that are just getting started out, or they may have started, but they require a little bit more mentorship. They require some of the tools that we have now to help them in terms of ease of doing business, understanding their industry, their product, their service level. All big businesses started small. They had to learn from the experiences throughout the years. We're now trying to help the younger, up-and-coming business owners to not have to experience the same pitfalls, because they are going to be the new driving forces. They are going to be the ones now creating the new industries, the new tools. And we have seen it at the Chamber. Our increase in membership is the new members, the new entrepreneurs. One of the youngest members that we have now is actually on our board, Tristan Anna. So you start to see the change, and we have been driving that change.
Well, you know, it's an amazing thing that you're talking like this and you're being able to talk about those things. I want you to be able to let me know what came out of West Palm. Like, what have you done when you guys went to the Bahamas Business, let me call it right, Bahamas Business and Investment Forum. You were in West Palm, you did a wonderful job there, and being able to bring that. Now, what do you want to drive home for all those persons who are listening in, who want to get a part of business, who want to do these particular things? What do you want to drive home and let them know? You're also open for business locally. Yes. You want them to come sign up? And what discounts we just get from People Place when they...
So let's start with the last question first. So do we want you to sign up? Yes. You can sign up at the Chamber. You can go on thebahamaschamber.com, our website, click membership, fill out the application form. The ladies in the office will be happy to process. The board will review. Due diligence is always one of our key cornerstones. And you can join the Chamber of Commerce. Feel free to even call our office, 322-2145.
Let me write the number down.
3222. Where are you located? 2145. We are located across from Doctor's Hospital, Shirley Street and Collins Avenue.
That's the one you'll renovate and remodel and everything?
Renovated. And I would like you to know that those are renovated by members.
So?
Volunteered members.
Yeah, you was very clear with it, volunteered.
Volunteered.
All right, 322, give me the number.
Some $300,000 in renovations to the Chamber's office in order for us to be able to...
Really?
Yes.
Give me the number again.
322-2145.
2145. Ladies and gentlemen, that's none other than Don Williams being able to sit here with us and tell us all about the Chamber's exponential growth and expansion. And they're beautiful. Because I passed it and I was like, this is the same building? Beautiful, beautiful renovations that they're doing in this particular space. And they're being able to do a great deal of things. I don't know if you can stay with me for a couple of hours because we can talk about some things.
Sure.
You can stay? All right, let them stay. We're going to talk about some things, guys. We're going to take this quick commercial break, guys, and be right back after this.
Did you know that there are over 30,000 Bahamians with diabetes and another 23,000 with pre-diabetes? Each year, this number is expected to increase. Many people who have diabetes are unaware. If you are having blurry vision, feeling thirsty, urinating frequently, or are unusually tired or losing weight despite a healthy diet, you may have diabetes. If you have a parent or sibling that has diabetes, you are also at an increased risk of developing diabetes. If you have noticed any of these symptoms, it is important to see your doctor, who will perform the necessary tests to confirm the diagnosis. Together, we can beat diabetes.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
After I was in a plane crash in June 1983, I lost my left arm. I had some good friends, came along, fishing guides. They said, man, we can teach you to fly fish. Exuma, Exuma. Can you see? Look at it, man. One of the nicest places you want to be in the world. There were challenges learning to cast, learning to put a fly on a leader, learning to tie the different knots. For me, as a handicapped individual, as a matter of fact, I don't really feel handicapped because I could do everything, man. Anything anybody could do, I think I could do it too. Because with your mindset to do anything, no matter what you are, what you look like, what's happening to you, you can do it. For instance, in our positions, it's hard to get fundings and very, very expensive. SBDC would be helpful in regards to help funding people with disabilities. So nothing is impossible if you're disabled. Any kind of disability. Put faith in God and trust God. Believe you will overcome.
And welcome back to The Rundown. I'm Howard Grant. It is a beautiful Wednesday evening, having a great conversation. We talked about a little bit with the Kidney Association, talking about kidneys and the necessity for dialysis and being able to identify what you need to do for preventative measures. So it was a great conversation. We can be able to leave the numbers with you just before we get out of here. And we talked a little bit about the chamber. Now, we still got the chairman here, Mr. Don Williams, and being able to talk about those things. I just want to talk a bit about the economy. I just want to talk a bit about how do you view things from your professional vantage point and being able to identify what's happening around the country, especially being able to express the temperature that you can take going off to West Palm, going to America, watching all these things. How do you view our economy? Where are we moving in the right direction? Are we in the right position for growth and development, or is there some work that needs to be done?
You said it well, Howard. So we are moving in the right direction, right? We're seeing the increases in income for the government. We're seeing the increase in tourist arrivals. The Ministry of Tourism conveyed some 12.5 million tourist arrivals last year. The concern for us is now, how are we ensuring that that growth can be seen across all industries? You may see that while tourism numbers have increased, there may be an issue in terms of now the young entrepreneurs finding their way in, let's say, the maritime industry. Are we seeing a lot more taxes coming out of the government for certain industries? In fact, maritime was one of them. You know, the conversation.
The boating tax.
The boating tax. The conversation.
And the
is
gun
still
license
ongoing.
tax. A lot of persons are being able to tackle that also. Yeah.
So we see a lot of the taxes that are coming out of it. And obviously, if the government is deciding to tax a lot more of these industries, clearly they're now seeing the growth and development of those industries. We also try to ensure that there's a level of education around it as well, because we need to educate ourselves on what's happening globally.
How do we capture this information? A lot of persons are just, we actually hear about these things post-event, post-opportunity, not necessarily keeping up and keeping abreast with this, whether or not we're consumed by what's happening on our phones from an entertainment standpoint, but then when we kind of lift our heads for some air, we say, oh my God, I didn't know this happened. Oh my God, where did I get this information from? How do we know in advance? Do you have an app? Do you have a website? How do we get more information from the chamber?
So, Chamber, we put out information on a consistent basis through our newsletters. So if you're not a member, we encourage you to become a member so that you can get our monthly newsletters.
I come to sign up, by the way.
I hope so. I expect to see your application. I expect to see your application for all 6, Howard. All 6. Not 1, 6.
Listen, we ain't talk discounts yet. Well, you got relationships. I can lead
and work on that off record. But I expect to see all 6. But back to our point. So we put out a certain amount of information. We do encourage businesses to, listen, also seek, grow, and develop yourselves as well. I can tell you right now we're in communication with the new ambassador at large for AI because that is a hot topic. And
who's just been appointed?
Who's just been appointed.
I forget his name.
So the Chamber's Greg, his last name escapes me. Yeah. But we're on it. The Chamber is
I thought it was a major appointment, by the way.
It is, because it is AI tools that we're trying to get adopted in a lot of the spaces to ensure that there is an ease of, let's say, documentation. Right? Some areas of government, you know, are still paper. Some businesses are still paper-focused. How can we now digitize that? And digitization is not just in terms of documentation. For us, digitization is also how your products now being displayed. Are you just leaving it to your business domestically, or are you now expanding to the family violence? And then come back to the Chamber, because we're working with the various embassies that are here so that you can expand to the US, to China, to India. So when you see our trade missions that go out, we're not just there to find a way to gain products from those countries, but we're trying to find a way to have the businesses, the entrepreneurs that we take, how can you now get your products in those countries?
This is exciting stuff, man. It's an exciting thing to be able to have a conversation about where we are. You know, maturity is being able to understand where you are, but the determination of being able to move in the direction that you should. And I want to be able to commend the Chamber of Commerce and all those persons who are attached to you for understanding, okay, this is where the country is. If we look around the world, we need to prepare ourselves to move forward. And I want to be able to commend you for doing that, man. You're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
You're such a young man. You were 13, 14?
I will accept that. I will accept that. Make me legal enough to make sure that I can have my business license.
18, okay, praise God, right? Well, you know, it's been a wonderful conversation. You got to come back again, man, so we can be able to talk a little bit more about what's happening. We didn't get to the possibility of global fallout when it comes to oil and energy for what we're seeing in Iran and around the world, and the possibility of being able to see with tariffs. But we can leave that for another day. We'll have a good conversation.
All global factors, but yes, I will be back out.
All right, thank you so much, man. Listen, that does it for us here at The Rundown. Be sure to stay locked in and locked on. This is ZNS Network here in the Bahamas for Bahamas Tonight at 11 p.m. It's the final newscast in the country with the latest news and information from Corvell Pyfrom. From all of us here at ZNS, I'm Howard Grant, and thanks so much for joining us.